Okay, we'll start here. I don't really know about lead chess studies. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I don't know. I don't pay attention to. I'm sure they have good material. I always say, watch my stuff. I won't let you down. I know about my stuff. It's quality. Okay, so we're going into a, as soon as white plays d4, if he does, we're going into a Queen's Indian. He hasn't played it yet. No rule that says he has to. So here, white's slow playing it, kind of a ready type system. Okay, so you could argue that this is a Nimzowitz-Larsen now. Now, had white played d4, it transposes into book openings with a wide theoretical knowledge. This game we could have reached the same position with 1b3, 1b6, bishop b2, bishop b7. So essentially, this game is even, and becomes very, very symmetrical. So what should white do here? How do you continue this? Unfortunately, I say the drawback is it's hard to get an advantage from an opening like this. So essentially what you have to do is you have to keep developing. Now, there could be a pair or two of minor pieces traded if white plays d4. Pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, king takes, and then knight c6. And, there goes, could go in a set of knights too. I'm sure as long as white's developing something, winning chances for both sides will exist. Okay, d3 is playable, but again, we have a slow system set up. Now, a lot of times in a Queen Indian formation, black is striving to control the square. Now, white has said you can't do it, but the price white pays for that, he has a very quiet development arrangement. Black could play d6 and bring this knight here. Black could play knight c6. It's an even game. Okay, so black decides to be the aggressor. Now white can just ignore that. He could play a move like knight d7, knight bd2. And if he takes, he could take back with the knight. He could take back with the d pawn, and at some point it could become very, very drawish in a hurry. I don't think e3 is the right move. That's what my gut instinct tells me. Okay, why do I come about that? How do I come to that so that you can do the same thing? Well, it's simple. What do you do here? I'm not sure. Are you sure? Well, my rule is if you're not sure what to do, develop a piece. Okay, I was talking about this idea. Now, black does have the chance to do this and shut you in. Yes, that's true. But, we have the pawn chain rule. Attack with your pawns in the direction the pawn chain points. White starts playing for b and b4. Okay? And we follow that strategy. Okay? What else could we do here? Well, we could take. Okay? Now, how's he going to take back? We don't know. Let's take back with the knight. Now let's develop something. Now, let's leave some exchanges, but what I'm saying is white's getting his pieces activated. So the other reason I think e3 is not the correct move is that he's playing to stop black. Now, why should white be playing to stop black? You see the logic behind that statement? Black should be playing to stop white. White move first. So psychologically, you're giving a little concession here to your opponent. And it also weakens the f3 square, although it's well protected. It's not going to be protected for long. Now, e3 is playable. But white is playing to stop black right now. He's not trying to, we want to try to conduct our game so that we have winning chances. Okay. So, but the game is essentially, just plain even. Now here, I like this formation. But one drawback for white is it cost him a tempo because that pawn moved twice. Now, look at the position. Both sides have developed all 4 minors. Both sides have castled. But white's queen is on the back row and it's black's move. So black's actually ahead in development. Now, the unique thing about this pawn formation, both which is symmetrical, is this could lead to the hanging pawns on either side. Now, what are the hanging pawns? Well, I'll demonstrate. It's black to play. Suppose black takes and white takes with the pawn, and suppose black takes and white takes with the pawn. Well, these are the hanging pawns. Okay, they're called. That's just a term. They're called hanging because they're separate from either of these. They're not individually isolated, but together they're isolated. Now, the rule on hanging pawns is they're actually very strong. I mean, we can see that. Look at what they control. Okay. Now, the drawback is, like for instance, if one of them gets it traded, like if, let me get rid of the circles. If this one were traded, the other one becomes isolated, and vice versa. Okay, so and isolated pawns and hanging pawns have something in common, and that is they're strongest when there's most pieces on the board. They become weaker as exchanges are made. So the essential goal of white is to force this move in, which activates this bishop. And black's goal is to stop d5 and trade pieces. Now that's in a nutshell what you need to know about hanging pawns. You can find books that go into great detail about hanging pawns and give examples of how one side defeated the hanging pawns and the other side got their d5 push in. I can give you an example. One game, it's real easy to find. It's World Championship match 1981. Korchnoi white, Karpov black. Did I say first game? Again, round 1. Okay, Korchnoi was white, and he took the hanging pawns. And I remember reading the annotated version for this in the old Players Chess News newspaper. And Karpov, as black, just sat there and slowly improved his position. And then Korchnoi committed a tactical oops, and Karpov got the push the pawn in. Now he was black, his pawn went the other way. He got that in, and Korchnoi was toast. Okay, it was kind of a London system style. I don't think Korchnoi had the dark squared bishop. I think it got traded on g3. He had a set of double pawns over there, but the game was even, and Karpov was able to get the push in. Now let's back this up. I said there's something neat about this formation. Let's just burn a move so we can make. Oops. Here we go. I have to burn 2 moves here. No, I didn't have to burn any moves. Yeah, no, I did have to burn a move. I'm sorry, I'm confused. It's possible that black gets the hanging pawns. That's what I wanted to show. Out here I was trying to set it up again, and I was going to do white again. I knew something was wrong. So black has the hanging pawns here, and guess what? The exact same strategies apply. Black plays for this push, white plays to prevent it. White plays to trade pieces, black plays to keep them on the board. Okay? So let's see what happened. So black did take. Now he doesn't have to take with the pawn. But be prepared if you're in this formation. Be prepared to look for positions where you have to accept the hanging pawns. Now, white could also take this pawn, and he didn't have to take with this. He could play with the isolated pawn. That's another strategy too. Okay, but we'll see what happens. I don't know how he took back yet. Okay, he took with the knight. So there's not going to be any hanging pawns here today, or any isolated pawns. And the net result of all this is a whole bunch of exchanges. Well, not a whole bunch. We had 4 pawns vanish, 2 on each side, and a bishop and knight. And black still has maybe a slight lead in development. It's now white's turn. He can develop his queen and be about even. But notice this F3 square. You know, I talked about it being weakened. If white takes his queen off the diagonal, this diagonal, I mean, this queen, if it wanted, could come down here. Okay, what happens? So he pins the bishop, breaks the pin. Okay, now I don't know if this helps black in any way, shape, or form. Some people do it out of habit. Well, you're not going to bank rank mate me. Well, you're not going to bank rank black in this position. His back rank is defended. There's all kinds of firepower back there holding down the fort. Okay, and white's not even an open file. So how can black improve his position? Well, my rule: if you're not sure what to do, develop a piece. Let's put this here. Now black's got his 2 rooks activated, and white doesn't. You know, not much of an advantage, but you know, black would have a good position. Now this is playable, but it's not needed. White's not planning to use the G5 square. Oh, so that's why he wanted it. I see what his idea is. He wants to try to bring the knight in here. That's kind of a slow plan. White should be able to deal with that in a number of ways. Let's see. Okay, so the first idea would be just shut the, well, no, we can't play e4, that drops this. How about if we go threaten checkmate? Okay. Now this comes in. Now we have to be careful here. So this is tricky.
Check.
See, we have to step into a discovered check. Whoops, because we can't go there. You know, this is tricky. So let's see. I don't know what happened yet. I have the chat window that shows what moves they played. We can't play e4 to keep it out, but we do have another option, and that's when the knight does come here, that we can just bring the knight here. Okay, that'll batten down the hatches on this square. We could also consider this move. Okay, this just gets the bishop out of the way. If we're lucky, we might be able to do some damage along that long diagonal. Not right away, but maybe. So here, the queen, by putting on a1, I allowed protection of a2 in case it's necessary. And then I'm prepared to answer this with simply this. And now I can follow up with this probably. I still can't do this right away because black owns the square. But by taking the bishop back, I've removed the threat. Now you don't have another way to do it. Let's see. Here's another way. Let's see. No, you can't really do it this. Wait. Got to back up. Can't really do it this way. Here, the idea is to answer this with this, but the rook is no longer here protecting. So that doesn't work. So bishop back, knight up, now f3. Now you say, well, there's a check here. Okay,
check.
Yeah, there is. But what else does black have? Now this is actually a threat. So let's see what happened. So he just played here and said, enough is enough. Okay, but he's not ready for this. So the same idea as me, just a little different move order. Okay, so now maybe black is saying that I shouldn't have put the knight on h7. And I think white is obliged to take here because if he doesn't take on, if he doesn't take, black will take on d4, and white will have an isolated pawn. So this will help bring this knight back where he belongs. Okay, so we'll call that a good move by black. Helps rectify this unusual maneuver preceded by the tempo lost. And notice through all this rook hasn't gotten in play. Okay, chess is a war game. Your soldiers won't win for you if they're sitting at home. Okay, I mean, it's fact. If you look at chess as a real war game of life and death, and you don't care when pieces are traded, yeah, they died, but someone died on the other side too. Well, let's fight with what we have left. You'll improve your results. So this was proper instead of h6. Okay. Now it looks like, again, we have a very, very even game, and one of the other things that makes this game even is the two open files that are in common here. They both sides have access to the C and D file. The pawn structure is balanced. Okay, so here looks like black wants to double rooks. Okay, that makes sense. Let's oppose it. Okay, I'm not sure if that was the right idea. Why do I say that? Well, once again, the knight was in play. Let's play here. The rook, he's not needed to help secure f3 anymore. Let's just play here. And chances are black will play this. Now, if we want, we can just keep a nice level game. Like I said, it's even, it's drawish.
Check.
And then, if you want to shake hands and call it a day, and say this looks like a draw, okay, fine, or keep playing and maybe a blunder happens, fine. But see, knight e5, I don't see where this knight's going. Is he trying to go here? Is he, this could get tricky. What if black doubles? Now there is a fork for white, but let's see what black did. Then we'll look at rook d8 if he didn't. He didn't. Okay. We're going to chase the queen. Now this rook's on the 7th rank. So where's white going to go? Let's find a good square for the queen. Let's keep, well, here's our good square. Let's go here. Now, we don't have time to take this pawn because this is loose. We have to keep the rook on the file. And, here, let me show you something. It's just I was looking at it. This could be a blunder.
Check.
This check could be very embarrassing. See, but it's not a problem in this position because the queen is watching the rook. So, well, let's just come up this way. Now we're on the knight. I don't know. This is tricky. Here, I got a better idea. Let's go after the queen. Okay, so now, we didn't have to come here with the queen, but now this is not really a threat. And this is under fire. I don't know. It looks to me like the rook doubling is good. So he comes back, and now I think white has time to come back and do this. So what I'm saying with knight e5, black had a chance to bring that rook down to the 7th. Now white doesn't have to allow that. Let's see here. We don't have to play knight c6. We could come to our senses and just say let's keep the d file neutral. Okay. But we do have to look at possible continuations. Let's see any more comments. Okay. Anyway, thanks for those comments. I read them and I'll take them to heart. Well, you know, these guys seem a little reluctant to put these in play. Maybe this is a good move. Let's see. You know, rook over was, you know, very even. Is white trying to penetrate somewhere? You know, this is the only place I see. Okay, now he gets back to the 7th. That weakens this square. I always think when you move upon, you're weakening something. If you get the same thought, your results are going to get better. Now, looks like now white may be regretting some of his moves. You know, he can't oppose the D file. So black's starting to get a little bit of the upper hand. You know, black finally, you know, at move 16, he played H6. Just a second. Yeah.
Are you in the middle of a lesson?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. He played H6 on move 16, and he puts the rook on. He develops this rook here on move 23. So he sat there for several moves, and without doing it. And white's had a chance over the last 3 moves. Well, 2 of the last 3 he had to protect a pawn to swing this rook over, and he hasn't. So, you know, the reluctance to use these pieces can affect your game. You know, it's not clear to me what kind of activity white is getting. Now, maybe he's targeting f7. Okay, we'll grant him that. Maybe white wants to play. Let's get rid of the arrows. Maybe white wants to play queen c7, and clearly, if the queen runs away, we have queen takes f7. And if the queen trades, this rook comes down, and there's pressure on f7. But if anything, black can defend by rook f8. Let's see what happened. We'll look at that for continuation. He played here. Okay, let's look at this move. Okay, for the moment, black didn't have a threat. So white now has a threat. So clearly, if we step out this direction, you know, this could be embarrassing for black in a hurry. Let's see. Now, is there some crazy sacrifice down here?
Check.
No, you get out.
Check.
You get out just in, you know, black's threatening mate, but white's is too.
Checkmate.
Okay, but you gotta watch for these little tricks. It'd be a shame if you miss that. So we can't give up the pawn on f7. I think I've proven that. So now here comes the queen trade. Now what was I saying? This and come back over here. So, you know, the rook got deactivated. You know, maybe white's okay here. Look, you can grab this. You know, white has a rook on the 7th too. And might be getting ready to do this and this. Now, because black has to work on the 7th, I think he has some counterplay. So it looks like queen c7 was a good move. So what did here I was calling black a little better. What did black do wrong here? You know, very good question. You know, you'd like to play something like this, but we can't. You know, defend the queen by an x-ray, but you see the queen is defended by the rook. They call that the x-ray. Okay, so let's see. Can't play that. We have to trade. No, this appears to be a good move. But what am I missing? I mean, I miss stuff. I know I miss stuff. I lose chess games. I lose chess games to people that didn't miss what I did. So do you. So do we all. Okay. So queen c7. It attacks the rook. No, it doesn't attack the rook. It's protected. Attacks the queen. Now, black could ignore. Black, you know, he could ignore this, and maybe white has some trouble here. White's threatened with mate in 2, or I'm sorry, mate in 3. Okay, how do you get out of this jam? Let's put him on an open file. Okay, now I'm going to check.
Check.
Now I'm going to threaten mate. What? This is like two snakes trying to swallow each other. White's trying to go on the 7th rank, and 8th rank, and black is too. Well, you know, black has to draw by repetition if he wants it. Okay. So white can force black to take a draw. Black can force white to take a draw, but white can't force black to take a draw. It's because it's black's move. And you know, this is coming, but you don't have to do that either. That might allow this rook to run over here, and suddenly there's back rank issues. Oh well, let's see what happened. Now what it looks like, black can trade rooks and just throw a check down there. And maybe white will get the queens off at some point. This should be interesting. See how they do this.
Check.
Here's the check. Now, if you don't want to drop a pawn, but it might be okay to give it up. You got to come back to G1. Yeah. Now, we've got the rook on the 7th rank. White is threatening to trade queens and win that pawn with the knight. Okay, so white has a threat here. So, you know, maybe white's move has worked. Let's see. Let's see. So, I don't know about this. Right? Queen C8 check is strong for white.
Check. Check.
Now, if you, let's see. White's doing great here. Okay, he couldn't play knight here. You know, he could, but this threatens the pawn and threatens a check here to win the knight. But let's see, that defends it, that saves the knight, but I don't know. You know, this is risky for black. Okay, so but he's going to lose this pawn on f7. He's going to lose the knight. I don't see these things. I don't see one movers. Okay.
Check. Check.
Drop the knight. Oh wait. See, I told you I don't see one mover. It was protected. Okay. Guess what, gang? This one really looks even. Did white have to take that knight? Why doesn't he take the pawn? Let's be brave. Okay. Let's see. White's a pawn ahead. I mean, that can't be bad. We don't want to, you know, we can stay on the 7th, but I mean, let's see, this will come up. Let's go pester that pawn. Let's see, here we go. This is interesting. No, we don't have this move. This is in white's favor. So I'm thinking after all this, the game looks like a draw. Now, time to get the king active, white. You just weaken G3. There he goes. That could be a little risky. You know, take and you know, that pawn on E5 could come under fire at some point.
Check.
Now this should be a draw, but there's still potential danger in this position. Now, here's the danger. This is a blunder. It's a very, I think it's a blunder. A very interesting tactical position. If you haven't seen this theme, you'll love it. But I could be wrong. The theme is this check.
check,
See, the first point is if you take here, black picks up an outside pass pawn. Okay. Now, white doesn't have to take. He could move his king here. Well, you know, let's see. If you take here, you know, white's the one that's going to get the outside pass pawn. So you have to take here. You know, this seems to be even. Let's see what happened. He played there. He's waiting. Now that might definitely be a blunder because of this. He missed it. Okay. E4. What's white going to do? You want to take here? I'm going there. Now you have to bring your king back. Now let's shove that. Come here. Now black has a queen in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves. White has a queen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oops. So this looks like a great move. Again, if you take here, this is coming. And white is definitely losing this. You know, the king has farther to go now, and black can just play here. And, you know, white will lose this pawn on e4 at some point. Well, let's see. Maybe he has a chance. Let's see. At some point, you got to run this. Yeah, this is losing for white. Okay, so black to play, but you know, let's look at black's clock. It says 1 minute and 59 seconds. If you haven't seen this theme before, you know, it's not the easiest thing. So he comes over with the king. So it looks like they're going to agree to a draw here. No, he doesn't want the draw. Where's the draw? Who's going to press the draw button? There, it got pressed. So black may very well have had a win here. And then I'm not going to analyze out, you know, the different situations. Some of the e4 push worked and some it didn't. But you know, I'd be the first to admit that I could be wrong. There may be some inherent problem with this move. I don't know. He didn't have time
check,
for this.
check,
Now black protects his pawn just fine. Black wins. But e4 was the way to go here. You know, let's see, takes. King needs to come back. Take this. You know, this. You know, now you're not even getting the pawn, and this is a simple win for black. He could even take the h pawn, right? And you know, black's king has to stay in this direction, right? And this king just runs right over to there and picks up a couple pawns. So it looks like black was winning this, but without the time on the clock, how do you find something like this? I think they had more like a 4th or a 5th move repetition. So you know, maybe white should have grabbed that draw on the first opportunity. But anyway, it was you know, basically it was an even game throughout. And so the the result is justified. We're not expecting these people to play perfect chess. If they played perfect chess, they wouldn't be in the Team 45 league. They'd be off at some grandmaster event, right? But we learn by analysis. So I saw this pattern coming. It's the moment that it happened. I recognized that. I said, Black-White may have a problem here. See, this looks like an innocent move. So, but it's tricky. Let's see. Let's try this now. This doesn't work. I don't think it does. Let's see. Push, takes, king here, king here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this queen captures that guy. So, it's definitely a possibility. I probably misanalyzed this. Let's see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, it's still one behind. So White's done something wrong here. Yeah, what he's done wrong is send his king out to c4. That's what he's done wrong. So this e4 move was decisive. So he can't put the king on c4. He can't attempt to go after these because, well, maybe he can. I don't know. Let's see. What was I doing? Takes. Now, if black runs out of pawn moves, he has to move his king, and he loses that pawn. Let's see. Let's push here. Black goes here, and then we push here, and black's out of pawn moves. So black can't play h5. If he plays here, he doesn't have to. Actually, if we look at this, he doesn't have to play any pawn move. He just brings his king here. See. So the net result is the white king can't go. The white king can't go to c4. Now see the c4 push is stopped. And if the king comes around this way, there's a difference now. See, this doesn't work. We just take this
Check.
with check, and we take this,
Check.
and White wins. Very, very fascinating game. I'm still hoarse. I broadcast too much. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm supposed to be here 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific time. I might be late a little bit. There's something that's happening up in the air. I will know by 12 o'clock. So if I have a chance, I'll change my, when I go offline, it shows my schedule. I'll make a change and say we'll be running late, but I intend to be here tomorrow. But thanks all for watching. Okay, stick with this channel. I got a lot of surprises for those who are still watching. I'm supposed to have a very strong master join me on Thursday. That's my 2 to 4 time slot, and he's gonna run the show. He's got a very, very interesting discussion. I take his word for it. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to have a special guest with me, and I plan to have more special guests. So this channel's only going to get better. I want to be one of the better chess Twitch chef sites. That's my goal. Yeah, I'll try for the best. You know, but I want to provide excellent service and for your time. But Thursday they'll be plan on being here for my Thursday, and he gave me his word he'd show up, and I believe him. So, all right, thanks everybody. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful